it catches you completely off guard. A commercial of all things, a stranger reuniting with their dog, a song you've heard 100 times, a stadium full of people singing together, your child doing something utterly ordinary, and suddenly your eyes sting, your throat tightens, and tears are welling up, and you think, wait, why am I crying? I'm not even sad. You might be happy. You might be proud. You might feel almost nothing you can name, just a swell of something too big for the moment. You wipe your eyes, a little embarrassed, a little confused because the tears arrive without the emotion that's supposed to come with them. But the real answer is far stranger than sadness. Crying is not the sadness reflex you think it is. It is something far broader and far more mysterious, a physical response to emotional intensity of almost any kind, and most strangely of all, a signal, evolved not just to release what you feel, but to show it, to reach across the space between you and another person. When you cry at something beautiful or overwhelming or tender, you are not malfunctioning. You are watching one of the most peculiar and least understood systems in human biology do exactly what it was built to do. And once you understand it, you'll see that your tears have almost nothing to do with sadness and almost everything to do with connection. Let's start with a fact that sounds impossible until you sit with it. Humans are, as far as we can tell, the only animals that cry emotional tears. Lots of animals make sounds of distress. Lots of animals produce tears to protect and lubricate the eye. But shedding tears from feeling, from grief, from joy, from being moved, appears to be uniquely, strangely human. Whatever crying is for, it is bound up with something distinctive about being a person. And that alone should make us stop and ask what it's really doing. To answer that, you have to know that not all tears are the same. Your eyes actually produce 3 different kinds. The first are basal tears, the constant, invisible film that keeps your eyes moist and protected every moment of the day. The second are reflex tears, the ones that flood your eyes when you chop an onion or get poked by an eyelash, there to wash away irritants. And the third are emotional tears, the ones that come with feeling. And here is the remarkable part. Emotional tears are chemically different from the other two. Studies have found that tears produced by emotion contain higher levels of certain proteins and stress-related hormones than reflex tears do. Your body is, quite literally, making a different fluid when you cry from feeling, which strongly suggests emotional crying is its own distinct process, not just eyes leaking during a strong mood. So what is that process actually for? This is where it gets fascinating, because crying seems to do 2 very different jobs at once. One turn inward, one turn outward. The inward job is about your own body and its need to regulate itself. Powerful emotion, whether it's grief or joy or overwhelm, sends your nervous system into a state of high arousal. Your heart rate climbs, tension builds, your whole system ramps up. Crying appears to be part of how the body comes back down. The act of crying, especially the slow, deep breathing that comes after the initial gasp, engages the calming branch of your nervous system, the part responsible for rest and recovery. This is why a good cry can leave you feeling drained but strangely lighter, why people so often say they feel better afterward, even relieved. The tears are part of a physiological reset, a way of discharging an emotional surge and returning your body to balance. And crucially, this reset doesn't care what kind of emotion pushed you over the edge. Overwhelming joy spikes your arousal just like overwhelming sorrow. the system that brings you back down responds to the intensity, not the flavor, which is exactly why you can cry at a wedding and a funeral, at winning and at losing. Your body is running the same recovery program for both. But the second job, the outward one, is even more profound, and it's the key to the whole mystery. Tears are a signal. Think about what happens physically when you cry. Your eyes visibly glisten and overflow. It changes your face in a way other people can see, often from across a room. And unlike almost any other bodily response, emotional tears are very hard to fake convincingly and difficult to fully suppress. That combination, highly visible and hard to counterfeit, is exactly what makes a signal trustworthy and valuable in the language of evolution. Your tears broadcast your internal emotional state to the people around you, honestly and unmistakably. They are a flare sent up from deep within, telling others, something significant is happening inside me right now. And what that flare typically summons is connection. Tears are a powerful trigger for empathy and closeness. When we see someone cry, especially someone we care about, we feel pulled toward them. The impulse is to comfort, to move closer, to help. Crying signals vulnerability, and vulnerability, in the strange social calculus of human beings, invites care rather than threat. Some researchers think this is close to the heart of why emotional tears evolve in the first place, as a wordless call for support and connection, a way of binding people together in moments that matter, whether those moments are full of sorrow or overflowing with joy. A person crying is, in a very real sense, reaching out, and the people around them, without a word being spoken, understand. Now, put the two jobs together, and the whole thing snaps into focus. When you tear up at something moving, a piece of music, a reunion, a small act of kindness, your body is doing both things at once. It's regulating an intense internal state, bringing you back toward balance. And it's signaling that intensity outward to anyone nearby that you have been touched by something. The emotion doesn't have to be sadness. It never did. It only has to be big. Crying isn't the language of sorrow. It's the language of being moved in any direction and of letting that show. This completely reframes those confusing tears. When you cry at a wedding, you are not sad. Your nervous system is flooded with the sheer intensity of the moment, and your body is doing what it does with overwhelming feeling, releasing it, regulating it, and announcing it to the people beside you. When you cry at something beautiful, a landscape, a piece of art, a swell of voices, you're experiencing a surge of emotion so large your body reaches for its most powerful tool to process and express it. Those tears aren't a glitch in a sadness system. They're the correct functioning of a much deeper system, one built around intensity and connection, not misery. And there's something quietly beautiful hidden in this. It means the tears you cry at joy, at beauty, at love, are not confused or misplaced. They're among the most honest things your body can do. In a world where so much of what we feel stays hidden, crying is a rare moment when your inside becomes visible, when the intensity of your inner life spills past your control and shows itself plainly on your face, to yourself and to everyone who loves you. Far from being an embarrassment, it may be one of the truest signals you ever send. So the next time tears arrive without sadness, at a commercial, a song, your child's face, a moment more tender than you expected, don't be confused and don't apologize for them. Recognize what's really happening. your body has detected something significant, something intense enough to matter. And it's doing two ancient, extraordinary things at once, bringing you gently back to balance and lighting a signal for the people around you that says, without a single word, "This moved me. Something here is worth feeling." You came here wondering why you cry when you're not even sad. But the real answer was never about sadness at all. It was about the astonishing fact that your tears are a bridge between your racing inner world and your calmer self, and between your hidden feelings and the people who could never otherwise see them. You cry not because something is wrong, but because something is big, and because deep in your evolutionary bones, you were built to let it show and to let others in. Your tears were never a sign of weakness. They were always a sign that you are moved and that you are not meant to feel it alone.